Hey, you don't want to know what's going on in Aiken. You want to know what's shaking Aiken. This is Brian Katonic, Aiken native and realtor with RE/MAX Tattersall, and thank you for joining the What's Shaking Aiken podcast. This is episode 4, and first off, I want to thank all the people who have listened to the first 3 episodes. I'm kind of blown away at the number of people who have reached out to me and thanked me, given me ideas, and please keep doing so. If you like the podcast, please check like on your favorite podcast listening app because it really does help, and keep joining us each week. So, of course, last week we had the July 4th weekend, which was a big weekend for all of us. I went out of town, went up to the mountains. I know a lot of you guys went to the beach or did other things. And so this week is a little bit slower in Aiken. Not a whole lot going on. Though I will tell you, on Saturday at Coal Creek Nursery, they are having a peach festival. Now, if you've never been to Coal Creek, it's located on the bypass, where the bypass meets Double Road. And it's a fantastic place to go for plants or shrubs or trees. They really know their stuff. Like, a lot of times I go to Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, but if there's something specific I want or a question, Coal Creek really is good. But they're having something called the Peach Festival, and according to their website, they're going to have music, they're going to have food, they're going to have a band, they're going to have all kinds of things going on. So it sounds like a fun day for the whole family. It starts at 10 a.m., and what I would imagine it goes on most of the day. Besides that, I know it's been hot outside, so you might want to get to a lake or a pool. But if the kids are still acting a little crazy and want to do something, this is a great time to head out to the Big Mo, which is located in Monetta, which is about 20 minutes or so from Aiken. If you've never been to it, it's a lot of fun. It's one of the few drive-in movies places around. They have 3 screens, actually. I know this weekend they'll have Twisters, which just came out. Excited to see that. Despicable Me 4 came out last week. I'm sure that will be there. So, nice thing about it, they charge by the carload. You get out there, you can take your own food, your own drink. You can sit around, relax. There's a playground for younger kids. So, it's a really good time. The thing you have to watch out for at the Big Mo is they do have volume coming off the screen, but you can't really hear it that well. So, the best way to listen to it is through your car radio. Now, the problem is if it's a 2-hour movie and your car's been on the radio playing, guess what? Dead battery time. Now, they do come around between movies and jump batteries. So you got to watch out for that. So every few minutes, start your car back up. They have a double feature. I'm in bed by like 10 o'clock every night, so I'm barely banging through the first one. So I never stay for the second one. Now, I'm sure it's the teenage kids parked in the back row having Makeout City. So for them, hey, it's probably great. But it's fun going out there, take the family. So it's a fun thing to do. Try it out this weekend. So in the last week in Aiken, there was news that Rose Hill Estates was sold at foreclosure sale. So if you don't know what Rose Hill is, it's a historic landmark in Aiken located on Greenville Street about half mile to 3/4 mile from downtown Aiken. It takes up an entire city block. And if you've never been there, it really is quite beautiful. It was built in the 1800s. The original house on the location was actually burnt during the Battle of Aiken. And then the house that's currently on there was built in 1898. It's a Dutch colonial. Several decades ago, they took the stables that was on the property and turned that into a restaurant. And there's actually a small chapel on the property as well. So in the last 20, 25 years, numerous groups have tried to make a go at Rose Hill. And I remember about 20 years ago, a group had restaurants both in the main house and down at the stables. In the stables, they'd have outdoor music playing. In fact, they had several bands that were pretty good. The problem is, it's in a residential area, and so the city noise ordinance kicks in, and they had to shut the music off, I think at either 9 or 10 o'clock. It's fairly early. So the current owner, Katin Patel, bought the place himself at a foreclosure sale for $700,000. He made some improvements to it, and then he sold it to Elizabeth Smith and her boyfriend and sold it for $1.375 million. And he financed most of it. Now, in dealing with clients before, back when I was a lawyer, I would imagine he did the owner finance because he had this property, but he didn't have the time to put into the management of it. So by owner financing it, it gave Ms. Smith the opportunity to get into it with very little money down in comparison to the price and with a chance for Mr. Patel to make a profit. So to Ms. Smith's credit, the main house was really fixed up and was a really beautiful restaurant, very high-end restaurant. She leased the stables part to a third party, and they had a separate restaurant down there, which was fun. Not nearly as formal or fancy, but it was fun. And a lot of times they'd have music down there. Miss Smith also had the main house set up for accommodations upstairs. I think there may be 4 or 5 bedrooms, not that many, but they could provide sleeping for people that stay there. So in theory, it would be a great event center for something very close to downtown Aiken. The problem to me that Rose Hill has always had is it's not exactly downtown. You don't leave the alley and say, hey, let's walk up to Rose Hill and get a drink. It's just not close enough for that. You have to get in your car. The other problem as far as an event center is the main house is just that. It is a house. It's cut up into several rooms. So if you wanted a venue where there'd be 50 people or so out together on a dance floor, something like that, the main house isn't available for that. The stables is much too small. While you could go outside, then that is dictated by weather, hot, cold, rain, something like that. So it's really not a place for a big group. If you had a corporate meeting there, also, you don't have a really big common room that everyone can use. So I think that's hurt the place. I think it's also been hurt by the fact that since it's not downtown, it's not fresh in anyone's mind. So I don't know about you guys. So a lot of times on Friday or Saturday, we go downtown, we kind of drive around, see what's crowded, see what's going on. We decide where we're going to go eat at that point. Not being right down on Lawrence Street, Park, or Newberry, it has not really come to mind. So I think that's hurt it as well. And it's really too bad. The house is on the National Register of Historic Places. It's very unique. I've done a lot of traveling. I don't know if I've ever been to another town that had a estate so close to town that literally takes up the entire city blocks. But for whatever reason, it just can't make it. Apparently, Miss Smith only made a few payments to Mr. Patel. He had to file foreclosure. Miss Smith did hire a realtor to try to sell the place. They were unsuccessful. And then they actually had an online auction to try to sell it via auction. That was also unsuccessful. It went through foreclosure. The bids got up to $1 million. However, that is not enough to pay Mr. Patel. He needed at least $2.6 million to be able to recoup his losses. So he ended up taking the place back. I'm not sure what he's going to do with it. I hope either he reopens it to use it in some fashion or leases it to someone that does, because it is a super nice place and it would be a great addition to as another place for Aikenites to enjoy. So, Ms. Patel, I don't know you, but I wish you the best of luck. And if it does reopen, please check out Rose Hill Estates. Hey, it's not a Shaken Aiken episode unless we talk about one of our favorite sponsors, Blue Cottage Salon and Spa. So, it's hot out there, so I've got a lot of hair. I'm thinking about going pit bull style. That's right, shave it all off. I do have the world's largest head, so I don't know. But if you want your head shaved, manicures, pedicures, whatever, call Carrie at Blue Cottage Salon and Spa in a historic home in downtown Aiken on Chesterfield Street. She'd love to take care of you. She's at 803-221-5946. Okay, everyone. Well, thanks for hanging on with me. And I've got a very special guest. Emily, is it Sams?
That's correct. Yes.
Yes. And Emily Sams is, I believe, the Executive Director of Downtown Development in Aiken.
Yes, that's correct too.
I'm so glad I got that right. So Emily was just telling me she, like myself, is a native of Aiken. So tell me about your background, Emily.
Yes. So, born and raised in this area my whole entire life. I've went to school in Aiken, and then I decided to go to college at USC Aiken, where I graduated in May 2023 with my bachelor's in business administration with a concentration in marketing. Have always been involved in the community while I was at college, super involved in different organizations. I interned with United Way of Aiken County, which, even though being from this area, that was one of my first experiences getting to see the community in that light and how people got involved. So after I graduated college, I knew I wanted to do something in that realm where it would be community involvement. So that's kind of what brought me then to Aiken Downtown Development Association.
Emily, you and I are very unique. Like, we may be the only few people actually from Aiken who are still in Aiken. That
That
got
is
me
true.
thinking.
Yeah, it is rare. It is rare now to find that, to find people that are still living here, after so many years after, being born here and different things. But yeah, I love it. I love Aiken.
And I think, let's see, is y'all's offices in the alley or right around the corner from the alley?
So we used to be, but right now we just moved in January. We're on Barnwell Avenue. So we're just kind of across from How Printing and everything. So not too far off of Lawrence.
And if you can, I'm somewhat familiar with it, but what's the goal of Aiken downtown development?
Yeah, so our goal, so we're involved in a lot of different sectors, but one of our main goals and focuses is on our downtown businesses. So we are a merchant association, so that means that, downtown businesses join us and we become that resource and kind of that guide. And we're a little bit of that in between bridge, city, and then us, ADDA, and downtown businesses. So we like to be involved in everything. And, one of our main goals is seeing our downtown thrive. So we do different events, we do festivals, we do, certain shopping events. So we have our hand in a little bit of everything that goes on in downtown Aiken.
And some of my listeners just moved to Aiken a few years ago, and one of the reasons they move is because of downtown. And I'm a bit older than you, I'm afraid to say, but when I was younger, downtown there was not much going on. So, to me, one of the things that makes Aiken special is that the downtown is so vibrant and unique. Wouldn't you say?
I agree, yes. And of course, I'm a little bit biased, but just seeing other downtowns and things like that, each downtown has everything that makes it special. But I truly believe that there's nothing like Aiken's downtown. And I know that people, not even from here, they feel that way too when they visit our downtown. We have so many different things that go on. And like you mentioned, our downtown has evolved so much over the years. And I remember growing up that our downtown does not look like it does now as it did in the past. So we've grown a lot, and I think that we have a lot of wonderful things going on.
Now, I think downtown development that you guys are responsible, or at least part of a lot of activities that go on in the downtown area. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So, there's a lot of things that happen in downtown. So we play a part. We're the ones that host some of the larger festivals like Oktoberfest, Mardi Gras, Hops and Hogs. During the Christmas season, we do Night of a Thousand Lights. We do the Christmas parade, and then we host shopping events in downtown too. So sip and shops, when you see the scarecrows come downtown, that's us as well. And then we help promote other things happening in downtown.
Okay. I saw on y'all's calendar a sipping shop's coming up, I think on July 18th.
18th, yes.
And so what is that exactly?
So this will be a shopping event, and also the businesses will stay open later until 7 p.m. And this will just give an opportunity for be able to people for to shop a little bit later, but this just gets people, kind of walking up and down Lawrence, visiting the stores. The stores will participate. Some will roll out new items. Some might do a special, but it just kind of creates that buzz around downtown. And that same night will be Amp Alley happening in the alley. So just another thing for people to kind of participate in.
Right, right. You mentioned the scarecrows.
Mhm.
And that, tell people who haven't seen it downtown because it is really cool. All the scarecrows around.
Yeah.
What it is and how if they want to participate, how they can participate.
Yes, so we'll be having registration actually starting September 11th. And, businesses, our downtown businesses, can sign up, and then they get to have a scarecrow located in downtown Aiken. And then we put it up for a vote to the community, and people get to vote on the best scarecrow. But like you said, this is a wonderful activity. People get to walk around on Lawrence. They're right there, right on the sidewalks, and people put a lot of creative thought into it. So it's
Yeah,
definitely fun to look at.
yeah, it really is. To
Mhm.
me, I'm kind of biased. my favorite thing downtown does is the Night of a Thousand Lights.
Mhm.
If people have not been down for that, you want to tell them what that is.
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite events too. And it gets such a great crowd. So the same thing, we have luminaries lining the sidewalks. We have
Everywhere.
a
There's
lot.
luminaries everywhere.
Yeah,
Amazing.
they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Yes. And stores are open late. We have usually carolers, different people, Santa walking around. So it is just a fun-filled holiday event that everyone can get involved in. It's family friendly. People can go shopping for their holiday presents. People can just walk around, enjoy the luminaries, and it's truly like unlike any other event that we have. So it's one of my favorites too.
Right, right. I think the only complaint I ever hear about people about our downtown, which is all downtowns that are vibrant,
Mhm.
is the parking situation. Are you guys involved with trying to deal with parking issues, or is that just a city issue?
So of course, we hear it and everything like that. And thank goodness it's honestly, I think, a good problem to have,
It
honestly,
is.
that we have a parking issue. We know that we're growing and we know that our downtown is busy, but we definitely know that there needs to be some type of solution to this. So definitely when those talks come and things like that, we'll be happily be involved in any input that is needed with the city. But most likely that will be a city-led project. But like I said, we're kind of that in between. So we have conversations with the city and kind of let them know that how businesses are feeling and things like that. So definitely something that in the upcoming future, hopefully there's conversation around.
Right, right. I always think, Emily, people complain because they can't just pull right in front of the shop or restaurant they want to go to. I can typically find park within a couple of blocks. And if you're in New York City or any major city, you're going to walk several blocks. So it's not going to kill someone to get out and walk a few blocks. I mean, so
Yeah, that is true. And like I said, it's a good problem to have, honestly. So yeah, a good problem to have, but yes, hopefully in the future there will be some type of solution that we have to it.
okay, well, fantastic. Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking to me. I think everyone knows about Aiken's downtown. Do you guys ever have officials from other cities come in and talk to you guys, say, hey, how do y'all have such a great downtown? Does that ever happen?
So we always talk to different downtowns and different people. So our downtown is actually an accredited Main Street downtown. So this is an accreditation that we keep up with every year, and it's nationally, but also South Carolina Main Street we're a part of. So we get to talk to a lot of different towns and cities in South Carolina, and that's always a lot of the feedback they hear, and want to know is that how we have such a wonderful downtown and different things like that. So we definitely get those compliments a lot. But being a part of that organization, we get to also see how other downtowns work and different things like that. And everyone has different ways that, their downtown thrives. So it's definitely interesting to hear, but we do get a lot of compliments from other people about our downtown.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show again, Emily Sams. If you see her downtown, she'll buy you a free drink. Uh, no, not really. But thanks for coming on the show and keep us advised in the future of things going on in downtown Aiken.
Definitely, yes. Thank you for having me.
How many times have you wondered in your life, hey, where's a great place to import or export fine latex? Well, of course, there's only one place to turn to, and that's Vanderlei Industries. Vanderlei's been around since the 80s, and its owner, George, is more than happy to help you with all your latex needs. Again, contact Vanderlei Industries for your exporting or importing of fine latex products. Okay, as many of you know, I am a real estate agent with RE/MAX Tattersall here in Aiken. And in talking to clients all the time, one of the biggest questions I have is, hey, Brian, how is the real estate market going? And a lot of times the question is, hey, I bet the real estate market is kind of slow right now. Well, because of that fact, I do a monthly newsletter, or actually a monthly video that I put on social media that talks about how the market's doing right now in the preceding month as compared to that same month a year ago. So, June just finished, it's early July, so let's look and see how the June market did so we can figure out if the market's going well or not as well. So first thing we look at is what is the listing prices for properties in Aiken? And all this comes from the Aiken MLS, who do a great job in providing us realtors with information about how the market. So let's look at the median list price for June 2024 versus June 2023. So the median list price for this past month was $304,000. A year ago, the median list price was $299,000. So that's an increase, a current increase of 1.65%. Not bad. So the big difference is if you look at sales price. So the median sales price in the past month was $299,000, where a year ago it was only $281,000. That's an increase of $18,000 for what's going on currently, or an increase of 6.65%. So that is a fairly strong increase in just a year's period. One other thing as a realtor you look at is, in judging a market, is how long do properties stay on the market before they sell? That is from the date they're listed to the date they're closed out. Now, 3 or 4 years ago when the market was really hot, you could list the property at 10 a.m. and it'd be under contract by 3 p.m. and close 30 days later. So the numbers were really short at that time. That's not the case now, but we still are a fairly strong market. So days on market, June 2024, 72 days on market. Interesting, same number of days last June, also 72 days. So that remains. So the next question you might have is, well, Brian, that's June. How does this compare to the year as a whole? So what I did, I took the numbers from January 1, 2024 up through the end of June and compared that to the same period in 2023. So let's look at it. In 2024 so far, the median list price is $299,000. That's pretty much on par with what June itself was. I think June itself was $302,000. 2023, however, the median list price was $284,000. So that median list price is up $15,000 as compared to 2023 through the same period, or up almost 5.5%. The median sales price so far for this calendar year is $289,000. That's $289,000 versus $272,000 for 2023. So, folks, that's a significant increase. It's a $17,000 difference in the median sales price over the same period for 2024 versus 2023. That's an increase of approximately 6.5%. That's a good indication that the market is going strong. And look at the numbers. I noticed one other thing that really stood out to me. So the median price of a house in Aiken is around $300,000. So I wanted to see, okay, how many properties have sold above that amount so far this year as compared to a year ago? And here's the numbers. Last year, 2023, 130 properties sold over $300,000. This year, however, that number is up 38 properties. So a total of 168 properties over $300,000 have sold. That's a remarkable 23% increase. So the question is, why has Aiken remained a very strong market when a lot of areas in the country are not? There are several answers for that. One, interest rates went up in 2023. They were at historically low rates, some under 3% actually, but 3 to 4% was kind of a norm. And they went up to 6, in some cases 7%. And a lot of people said, okay, I'm not going to buy. Well, they've remained that same way for the last year or so. So a lot of people are like, all right, if that's going to be the rate, I'm sick of this house I'm in, honey, let's go ahead and do it. That rate's not going to cost us that much more. Let's go ahead and buy that house we've been wanting. The second thing is, so many of my clients that I get are from other areas. It's the Northeast. It's California. Yeah, amazing how many people from California are coming to this area, and also from Florida. The people from the Northeast and California, they come here when I ask them, hey, why come to Aiken, South Carolina? It's always the same things they tell me. It's cost of living, it's taxes, and it's what's going on political in those states. For the Florida people, most of them are saying it's the number of people that have moved to Florida is too crowded, and the flood insurance caused by the hurricanes they've had there. So those three groups are the biggest groups coming to this area. For them, they're selling their houses at such high rates where they are that houses here seem very inexpensive. For instance, I got some clients right now that are selling their house in Orange County. Orange County is just outside LA. It's a very high-end area. And they've told me it's a nice house. It's about 2,200 square feet, but, it's nothing exceptional. And they're selling that house for $900,000. So they can come here and buy two of the same houses they had in California and still have some money in their pocket. So that's pushing the sales to go up. A third consideration, or third thing that's going on here is, in the old days, a business or industry would come to a town and that would draw people to come work at the business and help the sale of property. And while that certainly goes on, we live in a completely different economy these days. I have more and more clients that both husband and wife work from home. And so it doesn't matter. They live in Toledo or Kansas City or Kalamazoo or wherever. And they chose Aiken. They like the location, they like the weather, they like the cost of living. And so it doesn't matter to them where they live for their job. They move here because they're working in a back office. So those three things is what keeping our market going. For the future, I don't see any of those three factors changing at all. I think, if anything, if mortgage rates go down a little bit, that's going to spur more sales. People in these different areas still want to get out of those areas. And there's still a ton of people there that are prime targets to come south. And people working out of their homes, I don't think that's going to end either. So I think Aiken's going to remain a strong and fruitful market. So if you do have any questions, give me a call. I'm there to help you, and I'll be more happy to assist. Well, thanks for listening. If you got this far, again, I'm Brian Katonic, and as always, you don't want to know what's going on in Aiken. You want to know what's shaking in Aiken. See you next week.